It's what my dad had. When my dad, retired, it was like 800 when he started. David, I lived on Fort Myers Beach when I first. Well, first off, my mortgage was 1,200 in Naples for a house, with a 10th Avenue address in Naples.
My mortgage forever, and you know where I lived, okay, because you sold the house. My mortgage forever was 1,500.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, here we go. Let's be careful out there.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this hump day. How's your week gone so far? Let's get over it together, shall we? How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
Good morning. I am well. I don't know if I'm as good as the Yankees feel right now, or the Mariners for that matter, or the Dodgers or Brewers. Lots of baseball today, elimination games all over the place. And damn it, hockey started.
Yes, it did.
And the Panthers raised a banner. And while it was a close game, final score-wise, I watched that first period and went, no Barkov, no Kachuk, no problem. 17 shots on goal, and they just looked like they picked up right where they left off. And you know what? I watched part of 3 hockey games last night, David. I did. I was all in.
Wow. Look at you. Even
Part of that was my baseball team's game was delayed, and then after that, they couldn't get the ball out of the infield until the 9th inning. But
by the way, did you see the little moment? I don't know how much of a pregame you watched, but remember that. Yes, don't have to remind you the Tigers Mariners game was supposed to be like a 4-7 thing, and I guess Jeter was going to leave after the game got started, and then he was going to come back for the beginning of the Yankees game, anyway, he had a parent-teacher conference night, and we know that because his phone rang. All right, while he was on the air, okay, and he had to, Ortiz goes, "You should take that," and Jeter goes, "Oh, I will. Don't worry." And I guess he was explaining during a break. He goes, "Yeah, we've got a rain delay. I'm not going to be able to make it." So they ultimately got that out of him. They're like, "So what was it?" He's like, "I'm going to miss a parent-teacher conference night because of this rain delay."
I thought and that's great. One of the things that cracked me up, because I know you know this, and I don't know how many fans know just how disengaged certain players can be when they're not playing. But they did a pretty good interview with Skubal during the pregame, because they've got this long delay, and they got Skubal in the dugout, and it was a nice interview. I mean, it was a good interview. But at one point they go, "When's this going to start?" And he goes, I don't know. I'm not pitching today. I'm not really paying any attention."
Right. It's just he's got his in-between starts routine and, what days I throw. And, yep.
It was just – and I remember in working in minor league hockey forever, not that they weren't engaged on game days, but there were players who didn't really care about hockey other than when they played. They didn't know what the standings were, and they didn't care. It wasn't their thing. When they played hard, but not every player is like us, the fan, when it comes to living and dying about every bit of information about whatever league you follow the most. And I always find that fun. But yeah, they couldn't even they showed game 2 instead of having more of a pregame. Let's show a game that was played 2 days ago to kill an hour. I was like, you got nothing else?
Well, maybe they were trying to have Jeter go to his parent-teacher conference.
Possible.
Maybe they were trying to, do him a solid. But that's okay. How many people, because the one game was supposed to go 4-7 on FS1, and the other game was supposed to go 8-11 on FS1, but when the 4:00 Eastern game got pushed back to 7:00 Eastern, okay, obviously that meant we were going to have an overlap, which meant, okay, that a sporting event that a few people cared about was going to be live on, wait for it, FS2. How many of you had to scramble and find FS2?
This is where, David, I love streaming. I didn't have to scramble. It just comes down there on the bottom. Just pops right down there. They figured it out. It was simple to find.
All right. Well, just don't know if, a person's system, if they have it, they did also move it to MLB Network and that used to a lot of viewers on MLB Network. So, between the two.
I probably should have, and I didn't call my mother. I probably should have called mom because she's all in. This is someone 81 years old who spent her entire life either watching and listening to Tigers games. I mean, it's what we did growing up in the summer.
Right.
So I probably made a mistake not calling mom because she's been into these playoffs. So bad son move by me. But David, I want to talk, and we probably could, I probably could have done this a little bit later, but I know everybody hates these. And I know that they're worthless. But I happened to, this morning while I was having my coffee, jump on The Athletic, and they had their NFL power rankings.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I know they're worthless, but I'm looking at the team. They had the Lions 1, the Bucks 2.
Wow.
I think they had the Eagles 3 and the Bills 4. And it's meaningless. I understand that. But they're meaningless because we actually have a real playoff that's determined by division wins and all the things that we know. And the college football world isn't like that. But if you did it by resume, couldn't you argue at this moment in time that the best team in the National Football League by resume are the Jags?
Ooh.
You look at who they've beaten. Yeah, because I was looking at, beating the Ravens doesn't count. The Lions' best win. They have them ranked 1. The Lions have beat the Bears, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Bengals. Now, I know they've whacked teams.
Now, hold on. That got to stop. This is like they beat the Ravens. It doesn't count, comma. Isn't this like when LSU went to Clemson and beat Clemson? At the time, we thought of Clemson a certain way, or Clemson, in fact, was a certain team. And then injuries and what have you take over, and they're not the team that we thought they were at the moment that LSU beat them. At the time the Lions beat the Ravens. I mean, Mark, listen, people like
the Lions
me
beat the Ravens had the worst defense in the NFL. They were giving up more points than anyone else, but because they were the Ravens, we thought a certain way about them. The same thing with Clemson. With college football, we have preseason polls that skew our brains to think a certain way.
Mark, when the 1-1 Lions met the 1-1 Ravens, I mean, the Ravens, I think it just held Cleveland to 14, but then again, it was Cleveland.
Who hasn't held Cleveland?
I know, right? You just throw your...
All I'm saying is, the Bucks, they've beaten the Falcons, the Texans, the Jets, and the Seahawks. Now, that's their best win.
Okay.
The Eagles have beaten the Cowboys, Chiefs, Rams, and Bucks. Maybe the Eagles should be ranked number 1 because looking at their resume, that's pretty damn good. The Bills have beat the Ravens, Jets, Dolphins, and Saints. Well, Jacksonville's beaten Carolina and the Texans, but the 49ers and the Chiefs. I'm just saying, when you look at the resume right now, and I get it. They've not played great in every game. Trevor's been a bunch. But at the end of the day, I think that, and they've got 2 more games. And obviously, we'll figure this out as the season goes on. But right now, I don't think the Jags are getting the respect they deserve. They've beaten good teams. They've played well.
Are you saying the Jags are Ole Miss? Although Ole Miss is fourth in the country. I mean, or are the Jags A&M?
Texas A&M.
Okay.
The Jags are Texas A&M.
Gotcha.
That's all.
All right.
I think we've got to, at this moment in time, to just poo-poo the Jags is very disrespectful to what they've done thus far.
Well, there's nobody poo-pooing them on this show. I mean, how many Duvals? My mom, by the way, threatened me with bodily harm if I do another Duval. She said, "You guys."
Duval! I'm not afraid of her. You know why? You know why? I'm 1,400 miles away.
I was going to say, she said, "You guys were funny Tuesday. You were entertaining. But if you do one more Duval, okay, and I am going to see her in 2 weeks, okay, and trust me, she can hold a grudge. She can hold a grudge for 20 years. You don't think she can hold it for 2 weeks?" So anyway, so just to let everybody know, I've been threatened. Okay, so I may not do as many Duvals as you would expect. Based on the resume, I think the Eagles would have to be number one in the power rankings.
I think you're right.
But I know what you're saying.
I just think the Jags right now are being, well, this is cute. And look they've got a couple more tough games here. They got to play the Rams coming up, and the Rams are a good football team. So, and they've got to keep on keeping on. But I just don't think the Jags at this point, and this happens every year with teams that get off to a good start, that we don't think coming into the season are going to be that good.
Well, the other thing, I don't know if we feel this way about the top handful of teams in college football, but the top NFL teams right now, they're all flawed. Like, we don't think right now there's a great NFL team among us. The Eagles' passing game is certainly in question. The Jags, I mean, they're living off of turnovers. You got to figure, the turnovers have to stop at some point.
Well, their passing game is suspect right now. It
sure is. And I mean, heck, and Trevor's having trouble just getting the plays off on time. I mean, it's remarkable with some of the weaknesses they have that they're 4-1.
The Lions are at their fifth string quarterback. He is going to start this week. They're without their top three corners.
Right. So, every 4-1 team, the Bills, I mean, even some of the lesser teams that they beat, they struggled to beat them. I mean, how good are they?
Right. And, you question their passing game coming into the season, not their quarterback, but their receivers. And you've been right. Their defense is not great. It's been good enough.
Yeah. Right. They're just like, we'll give a 20-24, and Josh Allen will make sure we get to 30, and we'll be fine. Right. But against a good team, you could see where Buffalo could lose easily. Right. And the Steelers are 3-1, and none of us believe in them. I mean, right now we think they're going to win a division by default.
So just, everybody's bowing down to what the Colts have done. I think it's time for people to take notice.
Of the J-A-G-S. Jags.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325. For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Governor, I don't know who I believe in. I don't. I mean, even your 3-2 teams, like I love the Broncos defense, and Nick's played really well in the fourth quarter, but his numbers are pedestrian. I mean, he's a bottom 10 guy in completion percentage. Their offense is, Their defense is really good. The Chargers are so banged up, you can't trust them. There's not a team that has separated themselves from the league right now. I'm with David. I guess I would say the Eagles, not only based on who they beat, but the Broncos showed how to stop them, but who can do to them what the Broncos did to them consistently? I mean, the Packers, we'll see. Oh, hey, trust me, I picked the Bucs to go to the Super Bowl, Governor. I'm not backing off the pick, but when you take the Bucs, the Lions, the Rams, the Eagles, the Packers, I don't know. I think it's going to largely depend on who's healthy come January. And you're right. That's a easy pick for the Survivor League this week, Brian. I mean, you just take the Packers and call it a day. Could probably take the Eagles, but they're on the road. Same thing with the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos are in London, and those games are quirky. How about the Cardinals coach getting fined? Are you kidding me? What's the world coming to?
Mark, you got fined $100,000.
Right.
The team.
For yelling at a player. He touched the player. Apparently he I guess touched his hand, swept his hand away or something like that. Because what did I read? Arians got fined a few years ago when he was with Tampa, $50,000 in a similar type of thing. I think that's who it was, Dave. Is that right?
I don't remember it.
God, I hate the Athletics website. How can you go on the Athletic and see an article, go back on the Athletic, and it's nowhere near? You can't. You got to search for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, coffin ball, that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is player lucky coach didn't cut him.
Yeah, now we know he's not getting cut. That's for sure, right? Good gracious. I'm just old. So I'll hold hands. Kumbaya.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Nice show lined up for you today. Seth Everett not on the show today. Normally he's a Wednesday guest. He's got some stuff going on. Seth will join us tomorrow.
Parent-teacher conference?
Could be. I mean, it could be. I mean, you know, his girls are, I thought, a little old for that, but you never know. J.P. Peterson, though, we'll talk the Rays stadium situation. Also, he's involved with the Lightning. Their openers tomorrow. Bud Elliott to talk plenty of college football. Chris Perkins to talk the Dolphins. All coming up on Miller and Moulton. Can we go back to this Jonathan Gannon story?
Yes, we can. For those of you that don't know, he is the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. I thought that's important because for most people, when they hear that name, my guess is a lot of people went, who the hell is that?
He was the defensive coordinator on the Eagles team that lost to the Chiefs 38-35 in the Super Bowl. Both coordinators got jobs. Steichen went to the Colts. Gannon went to the Cardinals. So he's in his third year. They got off to a 2-0 start this year. They lost their next two games on last-second field goals. And then there was this past Sunday, up 21-6 in the fourth quarter, the long touchdown run that wasn't because the player flipped the ball at the half-yard line. Of course, I mean, you know, why would you make sure that you had the ball crossing the goal line? That makes no sense. Really doesn't.
The other thing that was pointed out to me, and I don't know if that's the case in the stadium, but I believe it's this way in most every stadium. He had someone coming from behind. You know, now in the NFL, you can look up at the Jumbotron and see that for what it's worth. Neither here nor there. But yes, he lost the ball on his own, crossing the goal line. It turned a touchdown into a touchback. Kind of a big deal since they ended up losing by 1.
Right. It was the beginning of a 13-minute demise in the fourth quarter in which 21-6 became 22-21 Tennessee. And Gannon lost it. He absolutely lost it. The players on the sidelines, there's a lineman who's got his arm around him and he's trying to console him and talk to him. There's another player that is walking up to him who also looks as if he's about to give him encouragement. And Gannon walks up to him and tells him what he thinks about him, life, and the pursuit of happiness.
And apparently he did strike him in the chest, according to reports. The video has disappeared. There was video. It's been largely deleted.
And now I will say, if the coach makes contact with him, I can't support that. I can't. And I'm not a wuss. Okay, I'm not. But you just don't. Okay, there's a way to get, you could, tell him what you think about him, but you don't, and I know he's got shoulder pads and a helmet. How do we all feel when somebody does that to us? It violates your space and what have you. You don't have to do that. I mean, he's up in his grill telling him how much he sucks. Okay, got it. And he deserved that. Okay, but I can't support if the coach makes contact with him. But he got fined $100,000.
He did.
$100,000 by the team. I'm pretty sure it's the team.
It is.
But it's not the league. It's the team.
It's the team.
So the Arizona Cardinals, have not cut the player, and they've fined the coach $100,000, and the coach apologized to the player in front of the team. Now, I think he did that on his own. I don't think he was told to. Right. Don't think he was told to. He basically slept on it, got up, didn't feel good about himself, and that's the course of action that he took.
So he did, by all accounts, he hit him in the chest. He was fined $100,000 for it.
Right. So And there are some of us, like you and I took the stance yesterday, that we couldn't understand him apologize. Now, I have to admit, at the time, I didn't know about the making contact with him. I didn't. Okay. Do I think he owed him an apology for that? Yeah, I do. All right. I wouldn't have fined the coach, but
there is precedent, by the way. Bruce Arians kind of swiped his hand and hit a player in the helmet in the playoffs in 2021. The Bucs fined Arians $50,000 for that, for what it's worth, just so people know that there is a history.
So, I don't know if it's worthy of a poll question, but
I think our audience would be disgusted with the fine. I think people would, I think most of our audience would be okay with the fact that he touched him. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, the Twitch chat room is already on both sides of the issue. Person in our Twitch chat room said he's lucky the player didn't hit him back.
I agree with that. I do think you strike me, I'm allowed to strike you. I think that's fair. I also believe there's a lot of people in this world, and sometimes I'm included on this, that need to get punched in the nose.
So just curious your thoughts. 21,000 is the text line. Twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton, the Twitch chat room, the YouTube chat room, the Miller and Moulton YouTube chat room. Your thoughts on, can they both? I mean, clearly the player's in the wrong for not holding onto the ball before crossing the goal line, which I just have to admit, saying it out loud makes it seem even more preposterous to me. I don't get it.
How does it keep happening?
I don't get it. How do you not? I understood there was a play, not this year, but last year. We did a game in Purdue, all right, and they didn't clearly distinguish between the back line of the end zone. And then if you notice, there's like a dotted line that's a yard or two beyond the sidelines in the end zone. And that's basically, you don't let any of the photographers closer than that. That's a line. Nobody can cross that line. So there's a second line. Well, at Purdue, the turf color was the same. The lines were exactly the same. It's almost like you look at a basketball court and sometimes you got volleyball lines and basketball lines. Anyway, we understood. We did a game and a guy was wide open for a touchdown and he took a step back, caught the ball. He was out of bounds. There was no one near him. All right. We actually understood it. Yeah, he made a mistake. But when you look around him, you're like, kind of tough to tell where I am. Okay. How can it be tough to tell when you're running towards the goal line whether or not you cross it or not? And the next line is 10 yards away.
I actually get them finding the coach for striking a player. I didn't realize that he hit him hard. If he did, you can't put in today's world, you can't put your hands on a player anymore at any level. But how does the player not get fined? And maybe he was, and we just don't hear about it. But if the team is fining the coach, how does the team not fine the player? And I'm being serious here. How do the other players, how does this not go to kangaroo court and he get fined?
Well, kangaroo court's a different deal, but can you fine a player for being stupid?
Yes, you should be able to.
On the field. You as a team, not the league. Like the league can fine you for hits and other things. They also fine you for jersey violations. And, we can go down this road for a long time. But, I mean, can you as a team fine the guy for being stupid?
Would like to hope so. And that's why, I originally said cut him. And if that means he gets paid the whole year to not play football, if I demote him to the practice squad because he's on that cusp, does his pay get cut? Can I hurt him? What's the way to affect him for affecting the team? I mean, if I own that team, I'm beside myself. That could cost me a playoff game.
Well, and in that division, I mean, obviously you've got 4-1, 3-2, 3-2. I mean, every win is crucial. You could argue it's the best division in the league. So yeah, it's a huge loss, and it's their third in a row, and all three have been last-second field goals. Can they both be in the wrong here? Should Gannon have been fined $100,000, and should the player have also been cut? Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family-owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This
sound.
is Miller and Moulton.
So I have not posted it yet, but I literally have, no matter the reason, should a coach be fined for striking a player on his team? I think it'll be 99%.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I
but
don't-
that's, I mean, so
Right, I know.
Put that in with the Gannon thing. He hit the player. I mean, I don't. What should the Cardinals have done with whatever is now? I got to,
Oh wow, yeah, that's a hell of a spelling.
yeah, fine him, cut him, nothing.
I mean, it's Amari DeMarcado.
There you go. And it's EM.
ARI.
Okay.
And
The DeMarcado's DeMarcado. I mean, that's whatever. It's just a long, goofy name. A lot of people have goofy names.
right.
So yesterday, the wife texted me, and I told David this after the show, that we have natural gas in our house. My wife texted me, I left the exhaust fan on. I smelled gas. Tell me if you smell gas when you get home. I get home. I walk in the door, and you can smell gas. Like, you can smell gas. I'm like,
Oh wow.
this ain't good.
Right.
So I immediately call Tico, and they're like, you get a person right away when you say you smell gas. I mean,
Well, sure.
you bypass the customer service line here. Lady gets on the phone and she's like, okay, leave the house immediately. Okay. And my wife had left an exhaust fan on, and she's like, turn everything. I'm like, all right. So I went and turned the fan because they don't want a spark to hit it. And I'm like, all right, I've got 2 cats in the house. So you probably need to get the cats out. The gas is not good for the cats. So I've got her on the phone, both cats. I throw them out the back door by the pool cage. The one cat, before I can get the door shut, has already made his way back in the house. Now I've got to chase that thing down and corner him to get him out. But I will say they were there in 15 minutes. I don't know what it was, but he tested everything. There was no leak. I think we had an old stove, and I don't think the burner was completely shut off, perhaps. I don't know what it was. Well, since I don't smoke, that's a good point, EB.
So they couldn't tell you what the problem was?
He's got a little gadget. He tested behind the stove. He tested every burner, and then they did a water test where they put water down the gas line and it will bubble if there's any.
The smell went away.
I opened the porch, and about an hour late, about 30 minutes later, the smell was gone. And I just like to leave the house immediately,
right,
and get 300 feet away. Oh, okay.
I love you thinking about the cats.
I have a daughter.
Yeah, if the house blows up, I don't think the cats are going to be the concern. But you're a nice person, because I would not have thought of the cats.
Yeah, well.
Now, Rufus, I would have taken Rufus. She would have loved the car ride. Although the one cat we had slept on me.
No, the call wasn't coming from inside the house, EB. I don't have a house phone. I call from a cell phone. I was outside the house when I called. Trust me.
There was a house not that far from my mom's that blew up one night. I remember seeing the explosion driving down the parkway going, that looks pretty close to my mom's. I couldn't get to my mom's house. They stopped you a couple miles away. Huh. Mom, you okay? When she answered the phone, I'm like, well, it wasn't my mom's house.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. How's your week going? Is this a hump day? Thanks for getting it over the hump with us on Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. JP Peterson to join us in a little more than an hour. The Rays' new owners met with the public for the first time, or at least with the media. We'll talk about their future plans, although that is part of
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is The Starting Five.
We'll start with baseball. The Yankees were in a whole lot of trouble. Down 2-0 in the series and down 6-1 in the third. Quick sidebar here. Miller and Moulton don't have to tell you this. We're not the smartest people in the world. We did say yesterday, hey, Yankees, can we give you a little advice? Don't pitch to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Give him the Aaron Judge, Barry Bonds treatment, okay? All right? So what do? They pitch to him in the first with a man on, and suddenly it's 2-0 Jays. Really? You mean a soft tossing, by today's standards, lefty against Vlad Jr., who's hot? Anyway, it was 6-1 Jays in the third.
We also told you to bet the over.
Yes, we did.
In the game.
Yes.
That seemed like easy money. It was 6-1 in the third. The over-under was 7.5.
Which we didn't understand at all. Thought it should have been double figures.
It's 8.5 today.
Still seems low.
You got it.
Especially since the Jays are going with an opener and a bullpen game.
And is Schlittler going to do what he did against the Red Sox today against the Jays?
And the Yankees have a Schlittler. All right, back to last night. Holy Schlittler. So the Yankees get it going. Judge with an RBI hit. Stanton nearly hit it out of the park to center field with a long sac fly. It's 6-3. And then 2 on, 1 out in the fourth. Jays have gone to the bullpen twice. They bring in the hardest throwing guy they have. His first pitch to Judge, 100 miles an hour. Boom. Then he hits him with like a 94-mile-an-hour slider. He's got him 0-2. He is going to put Judge away. And he comes inside with 99 miles an hour.
High and inside, too.
And Judge tomahawks that sucker down the left field line for a tying 3-run homer. It's pretty damn impressive.
Off the foul pole. Judge never moved after. It was a home run or it was a foul ball. It was the only thing you didn't know. And it hit the foul pole.
Judge said the
They
ghosts.
invented the foul pole, by the way.
Yeah. The judge said the ghosts kept it fair. He thought it was definitely foul. 3-run homer, tied it at 6 in the fourth, place going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yankees end up coming back to win 9-6. Jazz Chisholm with the solo homer in the fifth turned out to be the game-winning hit. So they're staying the series. It's 2-1 Toronto, and the Yankees have a huge pitching advantage today. As we mentioned, Schlittler, who shut down the Red Sox in the deciding game of that series, against a bullpen game because the Blue Jays decided not to put both Chris Bassett and Max Scherzer on their postseason roster, so they only have 3 starting pitchers of the pitchers on their roster. So a bullpen game for the Jays, and the Yankees throwing, well, their number 3 starter. Big advantage Yankees today to even the series and send it back to Toronto.
Minus 175 for what it's worth, straight up on the Yankees.
Bet the over. Meanwhile, in Detroit, a 3-hour rain delay, and when play resumed, the Mariners hit 3 homers, including one from the big dumper, who's having a hell of a series, by the way. He's got 6, 7 hits in 3 games. All right, hit nearly 500, I think. Seattle had an 8-1 lead going to the 9th. Detroit did score 3 in the 9th. So maybe that carries over to today. The Tigers, man, I don't know. Just trying to find the positive.
They can't hit the ball out of
know.
the infield, David.
I know.
It is ridiculous.
Trying to emphasize the positives. It's the hockey team down 5-0 going to the third, scored a couple times and lost, but you wonder if it'll carry over. Seattle 8-4. They lead that series 2-1. They'll play again today. In fact, 4 games today. Seattle and Detroit at 3 o'clock. Brewers and Cubs at 5. Jays and Yankees at 7. Phillies and Dodgers at 9. That's all Eastern. 3, 5, 7, and 9. 2, 4, 6, and 8 for those in Huntsville. Remember, American League games are on FS1. National League games are on TBS. The Rays' new owners met with the media for the first time yesterday. They said many things. First off, the Trop's going to be fixed in time for the start of next season. Number 2, they're searching for a new ballpark site as we speak. It will be a dome stadium. It will not be a retractable roof. And they want it in time for 2029. They want to fulfill their lease in St. Pete, and that's got 3 years left, and then they want to be in their new home. They said their new home could be anywhere, but they need 100 acres.
They basically said that the model now is what Atlanta did.
Correct.
And that's the gold standard for how you build a stadium in the area around it, which I think is great news for Tampa wherever this stadium goes.
They also said that they will take much of the money that they will make on the surrounding shops and clubs and bars and restaurants, and they will put it back into the team. That essentially all the folks coming to the games and going to all those shops, they're going to help pay for the Rays' success. Oh, okay. We'll see. They also said the team is remaining in Tampa Bay. They're not moving it. The big three of the ownership group is Ken Zalupski, the Jacksonville house guy. He's the front man. The CEO is Ken Babby. He'll handle the day-to-day business. And Bill Cosgrove, who's doing homes in Ohio. That's the big three. Zalupski, Babby, and Cosgrove. The Rays did release, there's like 16 other minority owners. One of them, Shane Battier. Man, it's probably 1-2% or whatever, but, a little something for the effort here. NFL. Joe Flacco got traded, and he got traded to the Bengals. This just in, the Browns and Bengals don't deal one another very often. See,
so let me get this straight. An offensive line that gets their quarterback hit more than any other quarterback in the game over the last 3 years has turned to an 82-year-old quarterback who cannot move. Nice, Cincinnati.
Bengals get Flacco in a 6th. The Browns get a 5th-round pick. It means, though, that Dylan Gabriel's the starter and Shedeur Sanders is the backup in Cleveland. Ravens and Chargers made a trade. Ravens sending Odafe Owe and a 2027 7th-round pick to the Chargers. They get safety Alohi Gilman and a 5th-rounder next year. So two teams.
Sorry.
No problem.
Jungle love with that.
Arizona, as we mentioned earlier, fines head coach Jonathan Gannon $100,000 for physically striking the running back who flipped the ball out of the end zone before he had crossed the goal line on Sunday. He was angry. Jerry Jones fined $250,000 by the league for giving Jets fans the middle finger on Sunday from a suite at MetLife Stadium during the Cowboys win. Guess some Jets fans were yelling at him, and Jerry told them they were number one. There's video of Jerry telling them they were number one also. So fined $250,000.
There's always video, David. There's always video.
Yes, there is. Titans made it official. They announced it during the preseason. Former first-round pick Treylon Burks, he broke his collarbone, and they announced at the time that when he got healthy, they were going to waive him. Well, he's officially healthy, and so they waived him. See, Treylon Burks was the first-round pick that Tennessee got from Philadelphia when they traded him A.J. Brown. And so, Burks was supposed to replace Brown. Burks caught like 50 passes and 1 touchdown in his 3+ years in Tennessee. Seems as if the Titans didn't do well in the A.J. Brown trade. And speaking of wide receivers, Odell Beckham Jr. still wants to play. The problem is apparently last year when he was with the Dolphins, he failed a steroid test, a PED test. Odell still doesn't know what it was he failed it for. But it's a 6-game suspension, and for some reason, it wasn't served last year, and the suspension didn't start until yesterday. So Odell, who turns 33, is not available to play for anybody until week 12 of this year. NHL returned last night. Panthers got a third-period goal from Boquist, beat Chicago 3-2. Penguins scored late in the first and then threw in 2 empty netters to beat the Rangers 3-0. And Martin Necas with 2 goals as Colorado beat the LA Kings 4-1. Mark, this confuses me. Nathan McKinnon had 2 assists to become the Colorado Avalanche's all-time leading scorer. They're not counting 600-plus points that Joe Sakic scored in Quebec. I thought all those records count when a team relocates. I mean,
I think it's, quite frankly, the team decision. Oklahoma City doesn't recognize anything from Seattle, do they?
I don't know. Do they have anything of Gary Payton or Sean
I
Kemp
don't
or
believe
anything?
so. I think
Okay.
that's an individual team thing, but I'm not 100% positive. Let me dig.
Because that's what struck me. I went, wait a minute, McKinnon passed Joe Sakic? Well, apparently they only count Sakic's like 800 plus points in Colorado, not the 600 plus that he had in Quebec. 4 games in the NHL tonight, 2 of them on TNT. Bruins and Caps at 7:30. Ovechkin now is chasing 900. And the LA Kings back in action. They're in Vegas to take on the Golden Knights, 7:30 and 10 o'clock on TNT. WNBA Game 3 of the finals tonight. Vegas is up 2-0 on Phoenix. They've been 2 good games. Phoenix a 3.5-point favorite tonight, 8 o'clock on the 4-letter network. And finally, Mark, the powers that be in college football officially agreed yesterday the single transfer portal window will be 15 days, and it will begin on January 2nd. So they eliminated the spring transfer window, and the 15-day period for players to transfer is between January 2nd and January 16th. So in other words, between the quarterfinals and the semis and the finals, which is what happened last year when the backup quarterback for Penn State left after the quarters and signed with Missouri.
I don't know how this would stop that again, because that was largely Missouri saying, if you're coming, you come now. They didn't care. They didn't want him to play in any more games. So we'll be interested to see how that works out with particular players. And for the record, Oklahoma City does count the Seattle players in their records.
Okay. But apparently the Avs don't count what Joe Sakic did in Quebec. And at 8 minutes before the hour, that was starting 5. 5 big stories, and you have 15 days to transfer. Make up your mind here on Miller and Moulton. There's all sorts of stuff they're taking into effect here. The coaches hated it in December because they were preparing for bowl games and what have you. And then there's the whole academic thing where schools are like, listen, the kid has to transfer before second semester starts, which Miller and Moulton, quite frankly, think is hogwash. I mean,
Laughable. Come on now. School?
Right.
So cute. What are you going to do next? Continue to call them student athletes?
So anyway.
They make more. If they're in the business school, they make more than all of the people in the business school combined.
They make more than the dean of the business school.
Damn right they do.
You will let me in these doors when I show up. That's how it works. Miller and Moulton, thanks for being with us.
Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
DC, do you think there are any deans that are making $1 million a year? Really, and I'm being serious. If they are, then they're getting paid a pretty penny. But I don't think they make $1 million a year. And if you're a defensive back in the Big Ten starting, you're making $400,000. That's what the kid at Indiana's making to play D back, because that's what he sued for and won. And, Governor, I got to agree with what Barstool's saying there. The SEC's been paying players for 100 years. Ohio State, my guess is, has been paying players too. There's a reason you got the best players. You paid them. Do I think everybody in the Big Ten was paying the way the SEC was? No, and the SEC's kind of admitted that everything's on an equal playing field now. But if you don't think Texas and Oklahoma have been paying for years, I don't buy it.
Some of them are, DC, but I still think the kids that are transferring before the national semis, okay, are making more than the deans.
Well, that's, I mean, David, what I said to him is that the kid at Indiana that sued for $400,000. So a D back for Indiana, basically, if you're a starter in the Big Ten, you're making $400,000. I can't think that there are, maybe, I mean, who's getting paid less than a starting corner? Maybe a tight end, maybe a guard, a
right.
center. I mean, there aren't many positions. That's what it is, Governor. And I'm not being a jerk. You've got to just accept it, because that's where we are. And they were getting paid before. We didn't see it. So it didn't bother us. Were they getting paid that much? No. They were getting paid.
To show you how crazy it is, the word on the street 15 years ago was that Mississippi State had Cam Newton for 180,000 and Auburn came over the top. So you could get Cam Newton for about 200 grand.
But remember, that's a JUCO transfer with, I mean, this is before he's Cam Newton. I mean, you
Right,
got to admit,
right. He was a 5-star, though.
This is Cam Newton with issues, though, coming
Yes,
off and
it
getting
was.
kicked out of a school. So
It was, but he was a 5-star.
he's got $2 million a year, I believe. DTW.
No, Underwood 3.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. During the commercial break there, chatting with folks about college sports and paying the athletes. And Mark, there are a few more people that are just, it's getting a little unsavory. But Mark, what are they not doing? What are they not doing? They may not feel the same way about the sport anymore. And all this talk of money bothers me. What are they not doing?
What is who not doing? I'm sorry. I'm a little confused. The fan, the player, the team?
No, the people in our Twitch chat room, the fans, okay? And they are, all this talk of money in college football and basketball, it's unsavory. They don't like it. Yeah, I don't feel the same way as I used to. But, Mark, what are they not doing?
Well, I don't know what they're not doing because they're still watching.
There you go. They're not stopping to watch. And until you do that, there will never be any changes. Because remember, I know you don't like it when we say this. I know you don't like it, but we're right. And we've been right for 15 years. Because you know what it is, Mark?
I do, David. I do.
What is it?
It's a TV show.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding.
And it's funny, the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line is open at 21,000. You got to text the keyword Miller if you've not texted before. I was a little snarky with someone already on the text line.
Whoa.
Because they brought up hockey and their favorite team with the simple "Go Leafs, go" chant. And I said, go where? To the golf course? Go on vacation early?
Wow.
And I thought about it, and I said, at least you make the playoffs. My team's 7 years in a row without, and it's probably going to be 8. So I would take going to the golf course in April if that meant playing around in the playoffs. But another person had texted in and simply said, not sure if you guys discussed this yet. And we haven't on air. We have off air a bit. But how is it possible that I was able to get South Florida at plus a half point last night versus North Texas? Am I missing something?
Nope.
No, you're not.
Nope.
And in fact, you and others have helped turn that line from South Florida being a half-point underdog to being a 1.5 favorite.
Oh, no, Mark, they've done more than that. That actually opened, they were a 1.5 underdog. Okay, that person and others have moved the line 3 points in 48 hours.
But North Texas is at home, and they are undefeated.
That's right. They're undefeated.
They're among the teams in the American that you have to talk about for that final playoff berth, along with Tulane, Memphis, and Navy. There are 5 teams that are all considered viable playoff teams because the winner of the American is going to get a spot. Maybe UNLV, if they run the table, could have something to say about it. But Boise, with their loss, now that's 2. Odds are 10-2 Boise isn't going to get in ahead of more than likely either 10-2 or 11-1 American winner.
You're right. UNLV is the only chance to take a bid away from the American. at this point. But yes, okay. The green, are they North Texas? Are they like the green machine or something like that? I know Tulane's the green wave. Isn't
They're the mean
machine?
Mean machine.
Mean
Mean
machine.
machine. Sorry, we're all
So-
just doing a little longest yard. The original there. You have to go back early 70s and so many repeats on cable television that you have the movie memorized. Game Ball. That's just one more. I'm done. Done.
So, yes, UNT, the University of North Texas, and they opened as a 1.5 favorite. Mark and I actually text about it before we did our first show this week. We're like, do you know South Florida's a 1.5 dog at North Texas?
And, I guess their big win, I mean, they've had a bunch of close games. They played a bad team and blew them out. But they pounded Washington State, a former Power 4 team. They're in limbo right now in the new Pac-12 that's starting next year. But they whooped them 59-10.
Hey, man, they went to Army, Mark, and won in overtime, okay?
They had to come from behind to do that. They were getting whooped in that game. So, yes, we do wonder. It's a Friday night game.
It sure is. Yep. The Bulls getting things started again for us Friday night. I think it's early, too.
7:30.
Yeah, they made sure they got it done for you, Mark, so you could, get to bed at a good hour. You're hoping, of course, that you'll have a baseball game on Friday, Game 5 of the Mariners and Tigers.
You're damn right.
So
You're damn right. And Scuba on the bump. Yeah. But the team that I root for is going to have to hit the ball out of the infield early this afternoon.
They are.
In order for that to happen.
They are.
I want to see the Yanks win. I want to see a Game 5 in that because it would be interesting with where we are and all the money that people get paid in baseball. You're going to have Schlittler pitching tonight. He's a rookie for the Yanks. He was unbelievable in the game against the Red Sox. But here we are, the New York Yankees, with the season on the line, have to turn to a rookie. And if the Yankees win and it goes back to Toronto, the Jays are going to rely on a rookie who I believe has started, 4 games in his career.
Ooh, now that's interesting because he was the Game 2 starter. So do you think, though, even though it would be natural rest, do you think they would go back to him and jump their number 1 starter?
Well, that was the talk of why they pulled him when they did. So we will see. Yusevich is the kid we're talking about who was brilliant in Game 2 against the Yankees. He only no-hit them for 5 1/3.
Right. So, of course, they took him out.
But that the reason they, people think they took him out was so that they could have him for Game 5. But look at it. He all hands on deck for Game 5. If he doesn't start, you got to believe Yusevich would come in if their starter gets hit early. So, I mean, I just find it fascinating. Here we are, the Yankees, who are spending, $250 million on payroll?
A little more. A touch more, 280.
Okay. And the Jays, who are not cheap by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
And here we are in the postseason, and it's rookies that are being relied upon in unbelievably big situations. And the betting public and Vegas has the Yankees as monstrous favorites today.
By the way, a very interesting decision by the Phillies tonight. They're going with Aaron Nola. I know he's a veteran, big money. I get it. He was injured most of the year. And then when he came back, for the most part, he's been lit up. I think his ERA is around 6. He did mix in a few good starts, but they're facing the Dodgers, and they're going to risk. I would not have done this.
Hey, David, I don't really give a damn who the Phillies start because in this series, the 2 big guns for the Phillies, Harper and Schwarber, are 1 for 15 with 8 Ks. So I could pitch. You need these 2 guys to get their bats going. You're not doing anything unless Harper and Schwarber start hitting the baseball. I mean, hey, look at Raleigh's been playing great for the Mariners. Judge has been playing great for the Yankees.
Didn't have a great Red Sox series, but has picked it up here against Toronto for sure and carried them last night. Yep.
So, you got it. Your big guns got to hit.
Well,
And the Phillies' big guns have not been hitting here in this series.
and as far as the Brewers-Cubs series, when we have Roy Cummings on to talk to Tampa Bay Bucks, he's a huge Cubs fan. And every single time we'd go Cubs, I'd go, "Are you sure you have enough starting pitching?" And he'd go, "Yeah, I think we do." Well, against the Milwaukee Brewers, you know what they don't have? Enough starting pitching.
Well, the Brewers have jumped them so early. I mean, they can't get out of the first inning. What, they gave up 6 in the first inning of game 1, and they gave up 3 in the first. They go get a 3-run home run in game 2, and the Brewers say, "Hold my beer."
Right.
So, if you're a Cubs fan today, could you just put a goose egg on the board after 1?
Well, listen, the Brewers scored 9 runs in the first 2 innings of game 1 and 7 runs in the first 4 innings of game 2. I mean, if you're a Cubs fan, you're like, can we just be tied in the top of the 5th? Can we just get to the middle relief, please? So, Cubs facing elimination, Tigers facing elimination, Yankees facing elimination, Phillies facing elimination. And boy, let me tell you, there's nothing that Fox is dreaming of right now more. I mean, they could have Yankees, Tigers, and they're a game away from getting Toronto and Seattle alone.
Yes, the expansion series for the ALCS.
Yes.
Got to go back away for that baseball fan.
I say
what the hell we're talking about.
I say they have to go back and play in the original ballparks. Not Olympic Stadium. That was Montreal. Go back to the original outdoor stadium in Toronto, which was horrendous.
The Kingdome, which has been imploded.
Exactly. But, I mean, the Toronto Stadium didn't even have a permanent right and center field wall. It was a temporary fence that they put up with padding on the bottom part of the fence. It's a mess.
I've got to say, if you're, with all the bets you could make on baseball today, and I love my Tigers, and I certainly hope they get to a game 5, but the way they've been hitting the baseball, you basically get Seattle, it's minus 110. It's not even money, but it's just the normal, it's the old juice that when you used to make a bet with the bookie, that's what it was.
So 3, 5, 7, and 9 are the start times for the baseball games. Eastern, 2, 4, 6, and 8 Central. Remember, American League games, FS1, National League games, TBS. So there.
For years, David, when it was a hump day, you would do the Geico commercial. You do the Mike.
Yep.
You loved it. I mean, you loved it more than anybody I know.
I know.
Do you know how old I looked up today. Do you know how old that commercial is?
15 years?
Close, 13.
Yeah.
13 years.
I still love it.
I almost played it for you this morning. I was in a good mood, and the timing. There wasn't an opening.
Well, boy, the good mood didn't last that long. You got so snarky with that texter about his Leafs. You just hate the Leafs. The Wings fan in you hate the Leafs. You love the fact it's 58 years and counting for them, don't you?
Yep. American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Faro and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Faro and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Faro and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family-owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I've got no cracking anywhere, so I don't know what to tell you, Paul. I don't know if anybody else hears it, but I'm not getting anything. I've had no one text that. I've had no one say that but you, so I don't know. Winfield definitely hit a bird. That is true. Was he detained by the police? I don't know. I wouldn't know how to fix it, guys. I got to be honest with you. I don't know what it is. Hopefully that's better now. I logged out and logged back in. David, is my voice cracking to you?
No, not at all.
It's from the old Norris division. Couldn't get past the Leafs in the 80s when I became a big Wings fan in my teens. When they had Cujo. Not going to restart the stream because we lose 90% of our audience, guys. I got to be really honest with you. You guys don't come, the people don't come back, and we lose most of our audience. Okay, I'll restart the stream. I'll turn everything off. I've got David. We got to restart everything.
Okay.